run it up times 10. These chains on my neck like then. Too fresh in the chrome hard lens. They talk when you walk like this. They hate cause they not like this. I was in London, they talk like this. The VAR gotta be top 10. Faster, yeah, times 10. I just pulled up in the Benz. She know that it's up, I'm just tryna crush. We cannot be friends. I can't be your friend, no Barney. I'm a kin dog looking for Barney. I'm a kin dog in love with money. Hundreds on hundreds on hundreds. Top of my class, always got hundreds. I told my mama, hey, look what your son did. I did it once, here while you niggas punching. She in my line.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Expressions Podcast, another episode and another instance of me feeling immense joy for who's on the podcast today. This is a man who I think a lot of people are getting to know now as a content machine, putting everyone on to countless amounts of underground artists, underground producers, just getting out information on the scene in general, really doing the Lord's work, if you ask me. And not only just that, this man is a Billboard charting producer. He's been around the block a few times. The first person who'll ever have a title of the podcast with two names. That's how much this guy's made two names for himself, not just one of the fucking two. Without further ado, I'm joined by Wavy, aka Hidden SoundCloud Gems. He wants to be called Gems. That shit is fire. That's what he's calling him out there, and I fuck with him for that. Gems, what the fuck is good? Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, bro? I'm awesome, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
Dude, it is an absolute pleasure to have you on, of course, man. So just start us off. Where are you from, man?
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Big 412.
Yeah, rep that shit. The 412, Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, man. I have some family out there in Saxonburg.
Okay. Yeah,
so I've definitely been I've definitely been out there, my fair share, into the city, family shit, weddings, whatever it may be. Western Pennsylvania, I think, is a very special place in this country. Great football over there, man. Authentic people, very authentic people. What can you say about Pittsburgh, PA, man? What's it like to grow up in a place like that?
Man, I can't even say too much about it. Like, I didn't live in the city. I kind of live, in the suburbs outside of it. And I didn't really go into the city much. So I don't know. It's really chill, honestly. There's not really much going on. The music scene is not big here at all. Like, everything I've done online, honestly. So I can't really say too much about it.
Yeah. No, Western Pennsylvania is a very calm place.
It's just very calm.
Certainly. And yeah, I was gonna ask you about the Pittsburgh scene. I mean, the only Pittsburgh artist that comes to the top of my head, which is like the most low-hanging fruit on the planet, is Wiz Khalifa, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, we got Wiz Khalifa and Mac Miller, of course.
Of course. Oh, dude, honestly, I totally forgot Mac Miller was from Pittsburgh. But I always remember him wearing the Pirates hat and shit back when he first started coming up. Yeah. But I mean, R.I.P. Mac Miller, but two of the greatest hip hop rap artists in the past 2 decades now, probably. But listen, you've made your own waves in Pittsburgh as well, so we could throw Wavy in there, Gems, whatever it may be. So, like I said in the intro, you have found a way to make a name for yourself in two ways. So we're gonna start as the producer, Wavy, because that's where you started. Start me off with this. Why did you start making music? How did you start producing music? Please walk me through the origin story.
All right. Well, I mean, I love music for my entire life. I had two brothers, and they were actually in a punk rock band when I was a kid, and I looked up to them. I still do look up to them a lot.
Did they have any music out? Can we go check them out?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't made anything since 2013, but the name is Second Chapter, and it's just a punk rock band. The mixing's terrible. I mean, they did it in their basement, but honestly, they're pretty freaking crazy.
You might have a problem when they hear this, man. Talking shit about the mixing. That's crazy. So,
not up to date, but
I mean, 2013. That's more than a decade ago at this point, which is fucking great. So so you've been around music forever.
Yeah, my brother taught me drums.
Wow. So okay.
I never listened to rap. I was a very sheltered kid. They weren't really. I had an Eminem CD back in the day that I found in my basement. was probably my brother's or my dad's, and my mom found me listening to it, and she broke it in half.
Oh my
So
God.
I wasn't, yeah. So I never really listened to rap until like elementary school when kids started, putting me onto stuff like that. But punk rock is like my first, and you can kind of hear that in my beats. That's like where a lot of my inspiration came from. So like Wiz Khalifa and Mac, obviously Pittsburgh legends, but like I never really listened to rap like that back in the day, which, if people were listening to rap back then, it would be them, so I
Mhm.
wasn't really like that. But yeah, I started off on drums. So I was always a drummer. I always had that rhythm. And right around seventh, eighth grade is when I picked up a guitar to impress a girl, of course.
Of course.
And
Did it
I don't
work?
know.
Did it work?
Yeah, for the time being. Uh, and and yeah, I just fell in love with guitar. And then right around that time, do you know who Trevor Daniel is?
Sounds like very familiar, but I can't
Well,
say. Mhm.
back then he wasn't popular at all. He was Internet Money's first artist.
Yeah, okay. That's why like that
But
name just felt
yeah,
familiar. And
well, he
we were
blew up
talking
on
about internet money
TikTok like
before. Yeah,
he
yeah,
blew up on TikTok like 4 years later, but he does like the really emotional guitar type stuff, and then I started, I found that, and that was when I was on SoundCloud for the first time, seventh, eighth grade. I found Trevor Daniel, and I seen Internet Money, all these producers, and I was like, this is sick, and I found some free software, beat making software, and I just started trying to replicate that type of stuff because with
yeah.
my experience with guitar and all this, it kind of just like felt right.
Yeah.
That's where it really started, man.
Yeah, and it's really cool to hear you can legitimately play instruments, and I feel like it's almost a lost art today of people actually knowing how to play instruments
Oh
in
yeah,
reality. And especially you, a young guy like yourself, to have that knowledge and then take it to, the software itself, whatever you're using and whatever you use now, it it just makes everything I don't know how to explain it. I think like, for example, I love to watch Zaytoven cook up. There's so many videos of Zaytoven cooking up, and he always will bring out the keys. He has
yeah, dude, he's
really
insane,
rich
man.
background playing the keys in church and everything like that growing up, and it just brings a more authenticity to the sound and to the beat itself, in my opinion. That yeah, you could have a guitar plug in and play some crazy chords on FL and
No, the
that would be
guitar, the
cool.
guitar VSTs will never sound the same, man. They sound so. I'm in my opinion, they're
No,
not.
and I think you're right. I think you're right. Like there's no
Back in the day, at least. I'm
yeah.
not. I'm not in my prime producing anymore. If I'm being honest, I've been really focused on the hidden gems page, but back then, I don't know. I was not really rocking with any of the guitar VSTs.
Yeah, but in regardless of how good they've gotten, there's always something about the actual instrument being played that just makes it makes it different somehow. And it's a feeling. It's something as
Yeah,
humans.
man.
You just feel the realness. You can
The
feel the
same
authenticity.
the same acoustic guitar that I bought in seventh grade, I recorded in this mic that you're hearing right now, uh, to play the Young Blue song that I got the Billboard chart.
Holy shit, wow. Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
and it all just came from this mic. Like I just put effects on it so it didn't sound like shit, and they flipped it. It sounds crazy.
Dude, that is so cool. That is so cool to hear. Do you still frequently play the guitar, the drums, not obviously from a producing standpoint, but just in general, like you're having a good time?
Uh, my drums, I had a drum set. It's packed up right now. I moved houses and I haven't. It's pretty small too. I would love to get a new drum set, man. Uh, my guitars, I have an electric Fender Stratocaster and a acoustic. They're both right next to me. I pick them up sometimes, for fun. I still can, you know, play
Yeah.
some chords and that, but yeah, it hasn't been my focus as of recently.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing though, man. It's really, really cool to see, like I said, someone actually playing instruments out here. And I don't think there's anything wrong with people not playing instruments, but like I said, it 100% elevates the sound when you're actually using the instrument itself. And it's
Mhm.
a clear difference just using your ears?
For sure.
So immensely talented musician we're learning right now about Prod Wavy. Now, let's talk about just some of the songs that you've been credited on, and they're fucking insane, especially at the time. Uh, Polo G, Angry Cries. I mean, a
Yeah, man.
Polo G placement at that time is like
It was insane, bro. I was in
it
ninth
was
grade.
insane. I mean, I saw like if you go back on your wavy page, like you look at the posts, like at like 2,500 likes, like hundreds
Yeah,
of
man.
comments, like that was insane. I mean, you just have crazy shit. I like you have a Fetty Wap placement. You have a Fetty Wap placement. Like
That was awesome, bro. He said "Yeah, baby" in it. It was awesome.
amazing, amazing, amazing. And I think a lot of people who are maybe tapped into what you're doing now, more of a younger generation, don't really know too much about Fetty Wap. Like everyone obviously knows
Oh
like
yeah,
Queen and whatnot, but
dude. He was my favorite. That whole
he's
album
a
in fifth
legend.
grade, bro. Fifth grade, I was playing that every single day, like the
Mhm.
entire album.
Bro, you could not escape Fetty Wap in 2015. Like
I
2014,
swear.
15, 16, everywhere, constantly.
That
Fucking
was
legend. Um, Talk to me though about those two. How did Angry Cries with Polo G happen? And we'll get into the Fetty Wap one because it's just so interesting who you've worked with up to this point. It's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Polo G song that was my guitar loop. You know, just my guitar again. I sent to a producer that was also an engineer in Chicago, and Polo G was at that studio, and they locked in and used the beats. I was in a collective at that time, and we were all going crazy with the melodic stuff. So we were all like, handing each other placements left and right.
Hmm.
So we all kind of have the same ones. The Fetty Wap one, like same with that. It was my loop, my melody, and just sent it to I think again another engineer in the studios, man, and it just happened to be making beats as well.
So what was that collective called? And is there anyone who was in that collective that we would very much know today?
Oh yeah. So the collective is called Household.
Okay.
It was back in like 2018. It was awesome though, man. I mean, in its prime, we really were kicking shit. Um, no one really in this scene. It's all like the same type of melodic stuff. But
Yeah.
one of the closest ones that my friends at that time was Prod Hayes, and
Yeah. Hmm.
him. I don't know if you know Ross Gossage.
Yeah,
He was
I've seen.
also he was a
Hmm.
he was a YouTube legend.
That's where I've
Um,
seen him. That's where I've
yeah,
seen him. You have a pretty legendary YouTube yourself, by the way.
man. Yeah, man. I don't know. I just the views started going down, and I don't know. I didn't really
I
want
mean,
to
you
keep
have
doing
some
it.
beats that, like 40,000, 30,000 views like that for like type beats on YouTube. That's a
Yeah,
shit.
I folded
That's a
on that one, bro, because
shit
it kept
ton.
on going up, and then I sold it as an exclusive, and then right when I put sold in the title, it just plummeted.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. That makes
yeah,
a lot of sense. Um, Now going into what you already mentioned, Young Blue, a Billboard charting album. It was Love Scars 2. Or is it, yeah, Love Scars 2, right?
right, yeah.
Love Scars 2. How did that come about? Was it similarly like you just sent
It
over
was
loop someone
yeah, it was my melody again, but honestly, it was with another a producer named Lass Hayes,
Okay.
and he we didn't really know each other much. I just sent him a loop pack, and it just got around to the right people, and the melody got it had my vocals in it too. I don't know if you
What
listened to
the
the song,
fuck?
but
Yeah, that was you. That
I
was
used to
you.
do the yeah, man. I used to that was the one thing that like the real kicker about my loops was I would put the guitar in, and then I would also sing and put crazy effects on it, and it would be like it was like the first vocal chops, like around the time when uh why is his name blanking on Rod Wave, when
Yes.
his piano beats were going around, and then they had the crazy vocal chops, like it was around that
Hmm.
time, and I didn't know how they were getting them, so I was just making them myself. Like, yeah.
Dude, you're so insanely talented. Holy shit.
Yeah,
So, what is it like to see yourself, see something you created on that charted on Billboard? I mean, Young Blue, I know, I guess nowadays isn't talked about as much, but I mean, he came out the gate back in like what, like 2020, 2021 or
yeah.
so. It just exploded onto the scene. What was it like to be part of a project like that that had such an impact at the time?
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even really know who he was until I got the song, and I was like, oh shit, he's really big. So I started listening to his music, and I was like, wait, he's really good. And I didn't even hear the song until it dropped, and I was like,
Wow.
wow, this is insane. And it was on the same album as like Chris Brown, and it was like so surreal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, he had that song with Drake that obviously went everywhere. Obviously,
Mm,
Chris Brown, you mentioned. He had that one song with Kalani that I liked a lot, came out a minute ago. But yeah, he was on top of the fucking world for a good amount of time, man.
yeah.
Looking back at that moment, are you still in disbelief about that? Or is it just like you just expected how everything was going, all the placements were
It
popping
was
up? It's like,
honestly like that loop. It was also really like the same time frame as all my other guitar loops. Like I was just really going hard in like 2022, and I pumped out like 100 original samples in like January and February and just sent them everywhere. And yeah, I had no idea. I definitely had no idea it was going to be like that. When I seen how big he was, I thought, there was always a possibility because his other one, Love Scars One, had charted.
mhm.
So I mean, me and the other producers were definitely like anticipating it, but then it finally happened. The first week sales hit, and I seen the tweet that it went, charted 34 or whatever it was. Yeah, it was insane, man. And it all happened like the month before I graduated high school.
Holy
So
shit, man.
I was like, yeah, honestly, it was a dream come true.
The littest kid at your high school, I'd have to imagine. At the
Nah,
time.
honestly, man, it's crazy too because uh, no one liked me until I started like the quarantine hit, right? And before quarantine, I was literally like, no one liked me. I had no friends. And then after
You're a good
quarantine,
guy, man. They're missing out. What the fuck is that?
I don't play sports or nothing like that. So I was very, I didn't have really a lot of common interests, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much it, though. After quarantine, though, I specifically remember the same people that used to bully me come up and be like, bro, your beats are crazy. Like, all
They
that
always come
stuff.
back around.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of funny, but yeah, that's all.
Dude, well, I appreciate your honesty right there, man. And then it's really cool to see, regardless of all that, a lot of that shit doesn't matter. You just were doing something you love, making music, and as a result of that, you got fucking Polo G placement, Fetty Wap. You're a Billboard charting producer, man. Like whatever anyone else is saying, they don't know anything. And
Uh,
it's really cool you just stayed true to yourself and just kept doing what you were doing. And obviously at the end you were appreciated for it, even by people who, like you said, were fucking with you and everything like that. But doesn't matter now. We've moved on
right.
and the songs will remain forever. So history is written at that point.
Yeah, I'm waiting for one day I'm gonna get a manager or something that so I can get royalties on these songs.
You don't collect any royalties on these songs?
Nope, I have no idea. I don't know how to do it, and I haven't really reached out to anyone because I don't know, man.
I mean, that is fucking insane. I mean, these you could definitely get royalties from these songs. These
Oh,
guys,
yeah,
like whatever label they're signed to, anything like that. I mean, fuck it. I might go to war for you, Broadway. That's insane.
yeah. I collect royalties from the Fetty Wap song. That's it.
Fetty Wap's a solid dude, even though he has gotten locked up for
Yeah,
doing some things.
my song came out like a month before that happened, and then he got caught at Rolling Loud with like 20 pounds of fentanyl, and people were flaming him. But I think it made the song go even bigger.
Nah,
Like
low
everyone
key, it
started listening
probably
to the
did.
album.
It definitely did. Not that was crazy when he went down because what's really funny is one of his main like trap houses or where he was moving a shit ton of fent was literally a spot 20 minutes from where I grew up on Long
Dude,
Island.
that's insane.
He was moving it all over Long Island.
That's great.
Crazy, crazy amount. Oh, it was insane. And obviously he's a Jersey guy too, so like in the tri-state area.
Mm.
It's crazy though. Why the fuck do you feel the need to do that? But
Hey man, I know. Hey, it's apparently the most profitable.
yeah, it
That's
definitely is. It definitely is. But this, like, did you run out of money? I mean, my guy, you had literally the number one song in the world for a bit.
a lot of. I don't want to speak for a lot of people, but a lot of people just stick to their roots.
Of course, it's unfortunate. You're right though. You're right, and we've seen it way, 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 way too many times.
I mean, you hear rappers talking about it. They don't, they're still rapping and stuff, but they still, sell drugs. It's whatever.
Yeah, for
Do what you
sure, for
gotta do.
sure. Yeah, but you just think a guy like Fetty Wap, especially, you blow up 2015 or so, and you're getting locked up like 6 years later after that, 7 years
Oh yeah,
after that. It's like, come on, bro. Like
his
maybe,
label probably took all his money.
yeah, that might be a good point as well. But that's crazy. You don't collect any royalties on that, man. That is a fucking crime. Absolutely a crime.
Young Blue song, yeah, I definitely need to get on that Young Blue song because
Hell yeah. And it's crazy though too because I've had a lot of producers on, and yeah, I've talked to them whether it's been on the show or even off camera, where like they're like, yeah, I just started collecting royalties on a song that came out like 2.5 years ago that blew up,
yeah,
and I'm like, damn, bro, like
it's a
what?
very common thing. It really sucks. Like the music industry is not standardized with how people get paid at all, and the
Mhm.
labels are very, very, very uh what's the word? They're very greedy about it.
For sure.
They don't care at all, If you're the lowest man on the like you have to get a lawyer. Like for the Fetty Wap and for the Young Blue song, I did get advances for them, but it was only through a lawyer. And even then it took like half a year for both of them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're completely right. A lot of shit like that within this industry is, are you willing to fight for it? Because you fight for it, you'll get it, but
Yeah.
it should not be like that to begin with, which is really
Right.
unfortunate, right? It's just the
But a
fact
lot of
that
the times, like,
Mhm.
there's just so many so many people on a song sometimes, and the label just doesn't want to go through the effort. Sometimes they'll reach out, like, sometimes they will reach out to the producers, but it's very rare, and a lot of times it's just the biggest one. Like, I don't know why I'm blanking on so many names. Let me see. I think it was Hitman. Yeah, Hitmaker that was on the Young Blue song. He was the biggest one, and for the longest time he was the only one credited, or at least for a couple weeks. But
and
no shade. It's really just the labels.
nah, but at the same time, your vocals are literally on the song. Like it's
Yeah,
not even just you playing the guitar, your vocals, like your voice is quite literally on the song. That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I don't even know if my name is on the Spotify credits. I
That
think
is
it might be.
absurd. That is absurd. That's
Check.
unfortunate, man. Yeah, go check that right now live on the show. Go check that.
Okay.
To me, just yeah, I don't understand because at least if
It
it
is
was
not. So it is.
yeah,
It just says it's produced by Hitmaker and two other people, but you know, that's how it is.
yeah, that's just wrong in my opinion. If I was in that position, like I was his management or label, whatever it may be, I just would always pride myself in doing good
I
business.
am on the
And
Genius though. I'm at least
that
on the Genius credits,
that
which
counts.
is
That
counts.
counts. That counts. You can't take that away from you. That is there. That's set in stone. But still, though, that is ridiculous. Producers, fight for yourselves out here, man. It's a
Yeah,
cold
man.
world, especially to you guys, where the producers are so fucking important. I don't understand. And a lot of times too, I mean, it's a lot more common now and even like past few years, where I mean producers would literally get named on the song, like especially the really big guys. And a few years ago, like Murda Beats, OG Parker, maybe a guy like Southside, they'll literally credit them on the song as like a feature almost. And I think that's right. Because a lot of times when you hear like murder beats, for example, like murder on the beat, so it's not nice. Like
Yeah,
everyone knows that, and it's almost like more of a guarantee listen, like, oh, it's a murder
right.
beat, I'll probably fuck with her. Like, or
For
Pierre,
sure.
another great example. You hear that, oh, I'm gonna like this song. And for me, when I see a producer's name I fuck with, I'm clicking on that shit. I
Mhm.
don't even need to know the
No,
artist.
that's always what I like. SoundCloud feed. A lot of times I'll scroll and obviously I look at the artist names, but I look at the producers too because I have you know obviously my favorites.
Of course. And as do I, and they're just as important of a piece to the song and the artist, especially in hip hop and rap. It's not even a debate. But we will we will continue to move. Life will continue to happen. Hopefully, you start collecting those young blue checks, because I imagine you'd be much better off with them in your life
For
than
sure,
without
man.
them.
For
Unfortunate, man. Anyways, though, moving on to some of your other placements. A lot of a dude you work with a lot is the Kid Season. Um, I'm a pretty big fan of him.
That's
I
cool.
kind of remember him from back in the day though, because again, like he was making that similar sort of music that we were talking about before, like a lot of heavy with those guitar melodies, similar to people like The Holiday, which we're going to talk a lot, or like Dro Kenji, who was at Internet Money at the time. How did you originally link up with the Kid Season, and what can you say about your relationship? Because you guys definitely made a shit ton of stuff together.
That's true. Yeah, me and shout out to Kid Season. I wish he dropped more, but I
They'll have
don't
the
even
strong ass
remember.
fan base too.
Yeah, I don't remember how we met, but we linked. We FaceTimed a lot, and I don't know. He just had the exact type of sound that I was making. A lot of the time, that's just how it is. Like we just clicked.
Hmm. Simple as that. Simple as
Right?
that. I mean, you were just in the scene really at the time. Like
Yeah.
anyone that was in your lane, artist wise, why wouldn't they want to work with you at that point? Like, no, I'm being serious. Why would they not be trying to work with you?
Yeah, I mean, him and the Holiday were for sure my favorite placements at those times. Like Juice World was my main, obviously my what I was striving to get, and
Of course, that makes sense.
rest in peace. He's literally my all-time favorite artist.
Yep. Hmm.
He's what got me into this. Like I'm pretty sure he was before Trevor Daniel. He's
Definitely.
really what got me into all of it.
Yeah, I do. I was when you mentioned Trevor Daniel, I was going through his shit. He did have that one fucking song that went fucking crazy. Was that like Falling?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the shit I think every time I went viral. I do remember that song. I never really like went into his shit though, but yeah, I do remember him blowing up like that. But to your point,
Yeah,
very
that was all internet money.
yeah. And going into who we were literally just talking about and you just mentioned, The Holiday, you have so much shit with him. You go back to some of your highlights on your Instagram, you have a gazillion
Those
holiday
are just the
songs.
ones that he previewed, man. I don't even have the song. I don't even have like 10% of the songs.
I
And
can't
it's
imagine.
shout out my boy Connor Fitz. He's from Ireland and he found me, which is crazy because Holiday was my favorite artist in ninth grade and or one of them. And he was one of my main goals to get a placement with, just one. And Connor was his like best friend and main producer at that time and still is. And we linked up or just DMs, and me and him just instantly became so close. I still talk to him, but I remember him just inviting me to a PS4 party with him in the Holiday, and we just played fucking Minecraft and GTA for like 8 hours, and it just took off from there. We got like infinite placements, but that really wasn't even what it was about. Like we're just friends.
Yeah. And when things start like that purely as a friendship, I always feel like the music is better when you're really
Yeah,
locked in like that. And you can see when throughout all your highlights when Holiday's really previewing, excuse me, all the music you guys were making together, just how happy he looks
yeah.
previewing it. He's like, I'm with my boys right now. We're making hits out here. What can you say about the Holiday though? Because he definitely another internet money guy who had a bunch of moments some years ago. And I was definitely a fan of him. You were seeing him everywhere. Yeah, what can you say about him? And just do you still and also too, do you still have a relationship to this day? Do you guys still talk at all?
Yeah, we don't talk as much, but honestly, he doesn't really text much, if I'm sure if I FaceTimed him, he would answer, but
Of course.
like he it's just the same thing with a lot of you don't hear really any of the melodic music anymore, you know what I
No.
mean? Like I don't make those beats anymore. Those guys don't make that music anymore. And a lot of times when that happens, like if you don't want to adapt, you just don't, like for me,
Hmm.
like this underground stuff is my all-time favorite music. Like I've never heard anything better than like Southside Solo. You know what I mean? Just like all that
Yeah,
type of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
yeah, for
just
sure.
insane. And like, but I personally can't make those type of beats. And it's like I'm sure if I spent hours and hours, I could try and make something that's close. You know what I mean? But it's like I did the melodic stuff and I didn't really want to change, and it kind of faded out, and I don't know. I was okay with it.
Hmm.
I moved on to the underground stuff, and I just found a different way to express it.
Yeah, that is that's some really real shit right there because I was just listening. I was just listening to something and It was actually OG Parker who I weirdly fit into this conversation as well. And what he was talking about was, as a producer, not necessarily producers falling off, but when you're working with a certain amount of artists and within a certain sound, if that sound sort of goes away and that's what you did, then the producer can then start to struggle a little bit. But to your point, you just didn't want to move on or evolve in that way. And you're like you said, you found another way to express yourself. And
Mhm.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. And I think, if anything, that's amazing on your part to say, you know what? I loved it. Like Southside, obviously his production. I've had a lot of guys on the show who've produced for Southside, and yeah, it's a lot different from the shit you were making with guys like Young Blue or Polo G, The Holiday, The Kid
It's just a
Season,
whole different
etc.
ball game. Like it's a whole different ball game when you
Whole
hear the
different.
beats that I
Mhm.
make. It's so acoustic. There's no effects like whatsoever. So I never really learned the plugin and effect side. I learned how to clean up my guitar. Throw some reverb on it, make it sound pretty, and that's pretty much it. These guys are, you know, I know about Portal. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Of course, yeah, yeah, no, for sure.
I know Portal, and that's about it. And these guys are going crazy. So, props to them. Honestly, they're all legends.
Certainly agree with that. And yeah, no, the amount of VSTs these guys use, plugins, everything is fucking absurd, man. Every single time someone bring up another one,
And
it's
it's
like,
and
what the
it's really
fuck?
like they take a skill that I really never learned with producing it. They take original melody and then they can flip it into something completely different. So it's not even the same loop that they started with. Like I never did that at all. I would always maybe turn it down a couple semitones, like a different tone, but that was it. People they reverse it, chop it, and then that's what turns it into like a Southside beat. It's like just some
Yeah,
crazy. It's not even anything like you've ever heard before, and it's because the effects. It's literally not anything. It's completely original every time.
that's a great point, man. It's a great point. It's actually so cool. You have such a phenomenal viewpoint on this. It's actually insane to me. I actually can't get enough of it
Dude,
right now.
music is my life, bro. I don't know
Yeah,
if you know how they have stats apps for music and stuff.
of course.
Like Spotify was my main thing before I switched to SoundCloud, like last year and this year. Let me pull it up, man. I mean, it's just music is just my entire life. Like
Nah, bro, I feel the same
I
way. I
never
feel the same
focused
way.
on anything more. If
Yep.
I go into my Spotify stats and go into all time, it's gonna make me sound like a geek. I can't even find it.
Trust me, bro. I can assure you, you are not alone in this. You are not alone in this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying. I don't know why they changed the apps so you can't even. Okay, here we go. I have 7,000 different artists that I've listened to on Spotify,
Fucking hell.
and 13,000 individual albums, 26,000 individual tracks,
Yep.
and that's just on Spotify. Everything's on SoundCloud now.
Yep.
So
Yep.
honestly, with that and how leaks and everything, Juice WRLD had about 400, 500 leaks in my prime that I
Maybe a
listened
million
to.
leaks at this point, man. Oh my God.
Yeah. I didn't. Juice WRLD leaks was what I was listening to nonstop back in the day. But SoundCloud, I don't even use Spotify anymore. So that's like those are
Yeah.
like stats really. Like SoundCloud is my main thing. I don't really know if they have anything like that for SoundCloud, but it would be.
They really don't. SoundCloud, I don't know why they don't. Because I'm a SoundCloud user, former Apple Music user. I still have my account and everything like that, but yeah, everything is SoundCloud centric for me. And they all they do is give you your 50 song playlist of like your 2023
Right.
playback. It's never accurate. It is never accurate at all.
That sucks.
It's somewhat accurate, but it's not entirely accurate for sure. Because there's some songs that'll be on there where it's like, I like that song, but there's no way I listen to that
Mm.
song more than these 10
Oh,
songs
there
that
goes
I
my
know of.
dog.
Oh, shout out to your dog. Shout out to your dog. There's nothing wrong with that. We love dogs on this show, man. I got a question for you though. Looking back at everything you've produced and just you speaking about how you've sort of just moved on from the production aspect of your life. Will we ever see Proud Wavy back again? Will it ever come back?
I have some, yeah. I mean, I have some FLPs that I make like 5 little projects every month. Um, I want to start collabing with these underground guys, and I've started to reach out, but I don't think my drums are there yet. I can never get my 808s to hit as hard as these guys, and I don't know what it is. I always say it's the drum kits, but it's not. I know it's
They're
not. It's
putting
just
effects on those 808s.
yeah, bro.
Crazy ass
And I
effects.
never did that, so it's like shit, a lot of compression and stuff. But yeah, I think you will. I want to start getting some producer credits. Not even like, obviously I have the big ones, but I want the underground ones too.
Yeah, just guys that you're fucking with on the come up right now. You're like, I want to just lock in with you. Is there any producers that you're seeing right now? Obviously, you've mentioned Southside a good amount of times. So much of a fan of you, a fan of his that you are. Are you what producers are you seeing out here that you're just obsessed with? That you'll see like, oh my God, this guy's fucking crazy.
Desmos, Desmos.
Of course,
His
he's
his
fucking
new
insane.
sound with Zucchini is like it's so crisp. I don't know how his drums are like the crispest mix ever. And I love when drums are like do you know who Turo is?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His drums are everyone knows that he has the legendary drum mix. Just like those guys, I mean, those are the two that I can name off the top of my head. There's so many people, I'm the worst with names. I can't remember any song titles. I can only remember artist names. That's really
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah,
No, the production talent right now is absurd. Absurd in the underground, man. Every day I'll hear a beat, I'll be like, holy shit, I cannot
yeah,
believe the person made this or a
yeah,
couple
man,
people
for
made
real.
this. Yeah, so I think I speak for a lot of people, man. We would love to see you back as a producer. Obviously, you have the credits already to your name that you're a legit producer out here. That's without a doubt. But to see you sort of transcend into this new sound that you're obviously now obsessed with, I don't see any reason why where you can lock
Yeah.
back in and just start making the craziest shit, man. And I get it. Oh yeah, go, my bad.
No, keep going. I was
Oh
just
no, what
yeah.
I was saying is obviously it's changed a lot. There's a lot of different techniques, the way these people are making beats, approaching it, whatever it may be. But I mean, like, look at what you've done. I feel like there's no reason you wouldn't be able to. Obviously, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. But
No, yeah, for sure. Hey,
here,
if there are any producers in here that are watching this, send me some new drum kits, man, because I have none, and they're all like old 2018 Metro Boomin kits. I feel like they're
uh,
not good.
yeah, that's not in this scene. That's not gonna cut it for these artists out here. They need their drums ripping the speakers, man.
Yeah.
So. You're a legendary producer, man. Regardless of what anyone says, and if you ever decide to lock back in on that, but thank you for your music, man. Thank you for your music. Because even for me, when I was listening to The Holiday, I was tapped into the underground always, but I never really participated in the ecosystem itself until probably a couple years ago. Like actually, being in like SoundCloud comments, posting interviews like this, just talking and actually meeting people. But to really see how much music I've heard of yours and not even really realizing it, it's really amazing, man. It really is. So
That's dope, bro.
much,
That's really
bro,
dope.
much love to you, bro, for real on that part. But let's talk about where we are now. The man Gems here on the show. Hidden SoundCloud Gems. It is, like I said, an absolute content machine. You're always posting videos, putting people onto different artists, different music, obviously. It's an amazing page. You're as well as an incredible host page. Crazy shit on your page right now, and I know it's gonna get even crazier. Why did you decide to start Hidden Gems? What is the story about that?
Well, it started in March. I remember I work at a Toyota dealership, by the way.
Nice, man.
But
Nice, nice. I'm a
uh,
Honda guy myself, but
I,
I like a Toyota.
I have a Honda.
What kind of Honda do
I
you
have a
have?
Honda. I love Hondas, but I have a Honda Accord 2016.
Dude, I have a 19 Accord. Beautiful.
Dude, no, 9.5 gen is better. I'm sorry, but they switched it up on the 10th gen. And,
Dude, the 2016 Accord is one
I
of
don't
the
like it as
nicest
much.
Accords and one of my favorite Accords in my life. I I agree with you.
Gotta
I
show
actually
you, gotta
100%
show
agree
you,
with
man.
that
My
statement. I
car.
can't lie. There's something different about the 2016
Are we
Accord.
good? The Wi-Fi is kind of cut.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's just kind of delayed. You good?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you though. The 2016 Accord is one of the nicest Accords ever. Probably my favorite Accord.
There's the
And
1617 is the facelift version of the ninth gen, and I gotta send you my car page, bro, because I got some wheels and stuff on it. I
no,
mean,
no, Def sent that through. I love cars. I love cars. I do love my 19 Accord though. I can't lie. I can't
you
lie.
have the 2.0 or no?
Yeah, I do have it. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, so you have the fast one at least. That's
Yeah,
good.
no, I got the sport. I got my little turbo in there too. It's a good time. It's a good time. It's a fun drive. But the 2016 Accord, I remember my friend's older brother had one, white, black rims. He tinted that bitch out a little bit. It was just,
Dude,
mwah.
yeah,
It
no,
was just nice, man. It was nice. I'm like, oh, I need an Accord when I can fucking drive because I couldn't
no one
drive at the
knows. No
time.
one even knows how nice they are, man. Like I swear.
No, they're one of the best cars ever. Like literally ever. I love my car so much. I need to honestly, I need to get a car wash. I need to get it detailed a little bit right now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
got to make that mental note in my head.
I was working at Toyota as a lot attendant, so I was cleaning cars. And at that time, man, I was just, I had my earbuds in, just listening to music all the time.
Yeah.
And in high school, man, I was known as the gatekeeper because I mean, you could ask any of my friends, man, they would all say the same thing. Like, I had always the best music taste, but I would never want to share it with anyone. I don't know why. It was a bad habit of mine.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I would share it, and then they would automatically become like all their favorite artists. So that's, I guess, why I wouldn't do it. Like Juice World, I was one of the first people to find him, and Yeet. I don't know why I blanked on the name again. Yeet in the 10th grade, I think. I found him right before Up to Me dropped, and just like no one in my school knew him yet, and then everything, he just became Juice World and Yeet became the biggest artists in their genre, both of them. So it's kind of
Mm,
crazy. And I feel like that kind of ear that I had has just always kind of like stuck with me. Like I've always been able to find the biggest people coming up. Like Osama Sun's now pretty big now.
hmm
Till Japan, his next album is definitely gonna get him into the mainstream.
Oh, I mean, that guy is ridiculous. That
Yeah,
guy's absolutely ridiculous, bro. Yeah, I mean, I remember to see his come up is just inspiring, man. Yeah, I remember Japan, like literally when he first started dropping music, like what, like
mhm.
2.5 years ago now. And we were like, ooh, and there's a lot of people, especially in this scene, a lot of people have been on this podcast specifically that, we all sort of saw that shit up close. I don't like
It's
know him or
crazy.
anything like that, but
I
mm,
It's just crazy, bro. Because I'm like a fan of these guys, so it's crazy that like these producers that are in the scene have like hella songs with them back when they were still like very very small.
yeah.
It's like now I can't get those songs. You know what I mean? It's like it's pretty big now, bro, and it's like yeah, bro. But it's crazy, man. I love these guys for sure.
Dude, so there's so much talent out there right now. So you just to sort of continue from the original question, because then we started talking about cars, and now here we are now. You just started because you always just had an ear, you're always tapped in, and you're like, I'm gonna
Bro,
start showcasing these people that I'm fucking with. I'm gonna not be the gatekeeper anymore, as you called yourself.
right. Like in 2024, I graduated in 2023, and then I got a job, and I don't know. Obviously, this is kind of childish behavior to gatekeep. So I was just thinking about, I was like, in 2024 is when I really locked in on SoundCloud and started finding everyone. And
Yeah,
I realized that, like, bro, on spot, I was only finding artists on Spotify. Okay,
yeah,
so I would go and I found like Highway in like 2021 or
yep.
something, and
hmm
and actually I didn't even like Destroy Lonely until I listened to his feature on Highway's album, and that's what
Really?
got me into Lone. And I don't even like Destroy Lonely's old stuff. Everyone's gonna fly again. I just was not in that type of underground scene. I was listening to melodic stuff, so I really wasn't into Lone and Ken. I'm still not. I don't really like those guys, but you know, everyone.
That's a hot take for
I know,
someone
I know,
like
I know,
you,
it's
bro.
crazy, but no.
I mean, I
To be
respect it
honest,
though. It's
bro,
not.
it's even a crazier take. Some people really will not agree with me with this, but I feel like Ken Carson completely stole Osama Sun's style with his new sound, and I don't know how people don't see it. Like Ken Carson was making completely different music right before Osama Sun dropped Flex music, and then all of a sudden he drops the same exact type of album because it's amazing music. Like the big artists can hear what's popping. Like Trippy Red will, feature on every artist that's
Every
doing
single one,
great
yeah.
stuff. I mean, some of them have that ear, so I don't know. I lost my train of thought there, but you know what I
No,
mean.
no, no, no. In terms of like Ken and Osama-san, yeah, and this is you can use this as a litmus test to see if that holds any truth, which is Ken Carson and Osama Son. Like Ken definitely has thrown a couple low key shots as we've
Mm.
seen, like at Osama Son, and there's always been a debate amongst fans, like who's biting who. A lot of people
Yeah,
think
bro.
Osama's a Ken clone. You're sort of taking the other route there.
Yeah, I don't because he it's almost been making that type of music for a while. Like, okay was the one that started that sound. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't Ken. It's again, man. This is another one of my things that I preach a lot. These sounds don't come from the artist; it comes from the producers. Like,
facts, fucking facts.
producers are the ones when people say, "What is this genre?" It's not what is this genre. It's who is the fucking producer. Like, Zucchini style, it's Desmo's beats on Zucchini. You know what I mean? A lot of that times it's who started that sound, like Yeet and Tragic. Like, that's tragic sound. You know, it's like
Sorry about that.
it's and at the end of the day, the artist can name the genre. Like, a lot of times Osama will say his music's called flex music, and that's kind of like, you if you type in flex music type beat, you'll find them. Same thing with
Mhm.
like Southside's music. They call it,
Yeah.
or no, Southside is swag rap, that whole type of stuff. They call it swag rap. The Skate Star and Dior and all that type of stuff. They
Yeah.
call that swag rap, and it's the artist that can name the genre. It's underground is such a huge blanket term for a million different things, and it's all the producers at the end of the day, artists and producers that combine the sound.
I completely fucking agree with that, man. You have no idea how much I agree with that. And back to what we were originally talking about, the fact that you don't have royalties on those songs makes it even more insane to me because that genre at that time, and like I associate that so much with internet money. Obviously, you think of Juice World and Lucid
A lot
Dream
of a
era.
lot of the household
Mm,
members got signed to Internet Money, or at least got offered to sign to Internet Money. I never did, which sucks, but it was just because I wasn't pumping out as much loops. Those guys are actual loop machines, and they get slaved like that too. I
yeah.
dropped a couple loop kits. I have like 4 or 5 out, but I wasn't able to go like super hard like that. So that's why. But a lot of those guys did get offers to sign to Internet Money for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, a shit ton of people got signed to internet money at that time, I remember. And I mean, even to this day, though, I mean, they've definitely slowly started to expand into this newer sound now. I don't know if you know
Oh, dude.
Pax.
Packs, yeah, huh? 100.
Pax
I
is
have
fucking
some.
crazy. He's an internet money guy. Well, he's so fucking good. He's
He
so
produced
fucking
one of my
good, man.
hooks.
Such a fan of his. But yeah, I mean, the producers really create the sound. I always have felt that. And whenever and especially in the underground, and I understand it's a blanket term, but I almost want to make a distinction right now that I've been thinking about for a while, where like there's the underground, which I think is very much SoundCloud centric of hip hop and rap in general. But then there's the other side, which is, let's call it a more generic trap sound where you look at guys that have had really great years like Bossman D-Lo or like a female artist like Sexy Red. Obviously her demographic might be a little different, more female centric, but it's still just hip hop rap. But those two people, for example, selling out arena after arena after fucking arena, and they have their own wave and they're just their own thing going on. We're in the underground. I feel like those generic trap beats are cool, but when you come to the underground, like the producers for me rule the world over
Mm.
here.
Yeah.
Always, always. When you look at like Whole Lot of Red and the impact that had on music and where we are today. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, Cardi, he's one of my favorite artists ever. And yeah, he is well deserved of all the status that he's at now. I mean, he's gonna drop a tape and it might do like 200,000 units first week or something we
I
haven't
don't know.
seen
He's
forever.
insane. I don't understand why he's not dropping. Like,
Wh- Listen, we have no idea what goes on in that man's head. Nobody does. But to your point, I mean, look at all the production now and the people that have come up since. You got to credit so much to Starboy, Out of Town, a guy like Art Dealer, OG Volta. Like these guys have
mm,
created a whole new wave and so many artists and obviously producers as well have continued to push it, but so many artists have now jumped on this sound. And obviously artists push it too. A guy like Yeet and like Tragic, for example, right? Like they come together and they make a song like Sorry About That that goes fucking
Mhm.
insanely viral, goes everywhere and really blows Yeet up to a different echelon. But I mean, the production on that song and just all the music in the underground right now, it just so much is the producer like okay. I mean, okay is pretty much an artist. The brother is
Yeah.
on fucking Our Generation Music getting an interview. He's like an artist, but
Hmm.
isn't really looked at as one, even though he probably should be. He
Yeah.
probably should be.
It's
It's an
getting
art
there.
itself.
I feel like TikTok is starting to, people are blowing up saying unpopular opinions. So, a lot of times they can talk about like the producers and stuff and actually start getting traction now. Like TikTok is, that's why, it's really blowing things up out of proportion. Because honestly, I don't really know why like a lot of like TikTok trends happen to be like underground beats and stuff. And
Yeah.
I haven't put my finger on why yet. It's definitely the beats, but I don't. Maybe just because it's more of a futuristic, like new gen type of sound, I guess.
What it feels like. I
Yeah,
think you can't, pinpoint it exactly, but it definitely is this sort of futuristic, just different sort of sound. Honestly, I think a lot of the production now is just so much fun. Like it's so much fun.
yeah.
There's so many times, and I literally tell a lot of my producer friends this. I was just telling this to 16 Aura.
I don't.
16, he's fucking amazing. But he made a beat post like a couple weeks ago, and there was just one beat. I swear in my life, I was listening to it
Mhm.
repeat in my car, just letting
I
the
always
Instagram
listen.
thing go.
Yeah, man,
Oh,
I love Instagram beat snippets, bro. They're awesome.
bro, I'm literally texting this dude. I'm like, bro, I've listened to this beat 1,000 times. It's not even the full beat, but I don't care. This is one of the best beats I ever heard in my life. But for me to have the ability to listen to the beat like it's its own song, I don't even need to hear an artist on it
Mhm.
to get like such a great amount of enjoyment from it. Says a lot. It says a lot in my opinion.
Dude, music can make me so emotional. Like just from I have studio monitors and a subwoofer, and just like sometimes I can just sit here and be so amazed. Like you said, like it's just insane. These guys can make stuff like this,
Yeah.
uh, and it does, bro. An amazing feeling listening to this new type of music,
Yeah. I cannot agree more. I cannot agree more.
especially the ones that know how to mix. Like I'm gonna name drop Nine Vicious, like him and 406 Ahmad's like sound right now is insane, and the mixing on
Super
them
fire.
it makes
Super
it
fire.
sound like they're already classics. Like they sound like classic hits already. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like too, and even a guy like you who you started producing and making music obviously really young. I've had guys on this podcast who are literally in high school with hit after hit after hit. I had this one producer, Awakens. He comes on the show. He has just crazy songs out right now and on SoundCloud. I'm like, yo, like like, how old are you? He's like, oh, like I'm 14. I'm like, damn, like how's high school? He's like, nah, I'm in middle school right now. Like, fuck,
That's
dude.
yeah, man.
I mean, even a kid who I had on a couple months ago, who obviously everyone knows now is Soprano, and he's literally just got a Chief Keef placement with Ian, and he's gonna be a junior he's a junior in high school right now,
Yeah,
and
man.
that's just fucking crazy.
That's I didn't know he was that young. That's cool as fuck.
Super cool,
But
man.
that's how like that's what I like when I was making beats. That's when I in ninth grade, 10th grade. Like same
Mhm.
thing.
And I feel like everyone's just has so much, there's so much more information out there and so many more tools than even when you were coming up at the time. And especially when I was
Oh,
coming up at
dude,
the time. Mhm.
I don't even I couldn't imagine how many YouTube tutorials there are now. Like everyone says the same thing. I'm sure you've heard it a lot, but like I learned beats from Nick Mira's YouTube.
Yep, of
That's
course.
it, bro. I watched 2 or 3 of his videos, downloaded all of his drum kits and loop kits, and just went from there. And that's it.
Have you ever
Uh,
gotten to talk to him or anything like that during your time?
man, I haven't.
Ah, that is a shame.
Yeah,
That is a shame. I thought maybe just in passing, maybe one time, because
yeah,
obviously working a shit ton with internet money guys.
yeah, man. It is a shame because he really is like
A legend.
him and Juice WRLD are my top inspirations, for, like especially when I started. Like him and Side Piece for sure.
Side piece. So good. Yeah,
Juice
the
WRLD's
music they're
SoundCloud,
making.
bro.
Mhm.
I don't know. Have you gone through Juice WRLD's SoundCloud before all of his, Goodbye and Good Riddance? Like
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
me, seventh grade. They gave us school iPads and they restricted everything, but they didn't know what SoundCloud was. So I was on SoundCloud.
Dumb schools, man.
I didn't even have earbuds. I just had my SoundCloud website on Instagram. And seventh grade, that's when I found Juice WRLD. I remember All Girls Are the Same was on the top 100. I was like, damn. So I went through his stuff and I was going through a stupid breakup in seventh grade. Like I thought it was the
Those seventh
craziest
grade
thing.
breakups, man. It's the end of the
But
world.
bro, like I listened to Lucid Dreams. I still remember the same exact like the same spot that I was in my couch at my old house listening to that song, and I was like, wow, I have never in my entire life heard an artist actually rap about his feelings like this before. And
Mm,
that was what Juice WRLD was known for. Like when he blew up because no one else had said the things that he said like the way he did. You know what I mean? Like he didn't care that people were, that it may be weird that he was talking about how much a girl, upset him and
yeah.
actually made him do crazy shit, but like it was real and it happens to everyone, just no one wants to say it. And even in seventh grade, I knew that, and I was like, damn, this guy's different. And I went through every single one of his songs down to the very first song, like Juice the Kid. Those songs
Hmm.
were so ass, but I listened to them. I remember when he started locking in with Side Piece and Nick Mira, he just completely changed the sound, and it just that yeah, it took off for me. The inspiration was just like I've never heard anything like it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, for me, Goodbye and Good Riddance, especially at that time. I was in high school at the time, and I knew about Juice
Oh,
before this tape, though. I've been on SoundCloud longer than you could imagine, man. Longer than you can
you
imagine.
were on
And
SoundCloud way longer than me, man. That Lil Skies was the first artist I
oh,
ever heard on SoundCloud. I'll be honest, he
I
was
don't
my
think
favorite.
Lil Dive has ever been mentioned on here, which is tragic. He's one of my
Crazy.
favorite artists ever. So
I think he was tapped in with Internet Money too back then, but
yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was because that whole album was executive produced by Taz Taylor.
Yep, yep,
Um,
yep. Skies was definitely locked in with them, but yeah, Skies was incredible. But I mean, Juice, like Goodbye and Good Riddance. This, like, it wasn't just an album for the underground. Like this, everybody in my school was listening to this.
yeah,
All
no,
I've ever
that he
seen.
became completely mainstream like overnight. It was
Mhm.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and as he should have, though. I mean, it is so sad that he is dead. Like, oh my
Can you
God.
imagine, dude? Can you imagine him on these new beats? It would be insane. It
Oh,
would be ridiculous.
dude, I think between him, Peep, and X all passing away, like those are three generational superstars that I just you can't even explain where they would be at now.
Mhm.
And especially on this new gen production.
Right?
It's
Insane.
it's
Like
insane.
imagine him on a 16 beat.
I don't even want to think
You know,
about that. I don't even want to think
with
about that.
the emo rock stuff, like it's just like insane. Or Insanto beat, like it's just crazy.
Insane, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to 16. He's been on the show before. One of my favorite people in the world. I was literally just talking to him a second ago. One of the most creative people I've ever met. Insano too. I just, yeah, I just thinking about that just kills me a little bit inside to think about what was stripped away from us potentially. But
Right?
like I said before, we'll keep it moving, man. I'll try not to think about that too much. So. What are your plans for Hidden SoundCloud Gems going into the rest of the year and just going into 2025? Or are you thinking of doing anything special, anything different, or are you just going to keep doing what you're doing right now, which I think is amazing regardless?
Honestly, I want to keep doing the reels. There's not a lot of people doing underground type content on reels, and it's kind of the way I'm doing it is a format that Instagram isn't really used to. So, it's not really getting the reach yet, but I feel like it could because I feel like there's a missing segment in it could be Instagram, TikTok, where people just, there's so much underground music, but people have no idea how to find it, And like, even me, like, I had no idea what hosts were until like last year. And I went
Yeah.
and I found Southside on Spotify, I think. And we didn't get back to this, but like, I started listening to music on Spotify and I was only finding people through where it said or like also like or fans also like, and it would only be
Yep.
like 4 or 5 different artists. And those were just the people that were popular on Spotify too. So I would never know what was on SoundCloud until I I think I searched Southside and I was just trying to find more of his songs, and I found 18, Forever 18.
Of course.
His He has the most legendary playlist, and I didn't know him at all back then, but I listened to his playlist. I downloaded them entirely, and I would just go MP3 after MP3 and listen to 400 Southside songs,
Fucking
find
hell.
the best ones, and put them in my local files. So I wasn't even really on SoundCloud yet because I was still listening to the local files on Spotify. But so like I have like a million playlists on Spotify. You could even see like every single artist with their local files and stuff. Um, yeah.
What Southside song really made you a fan, if you could think of it?
I mean, I think the first one I listened to was Walk Away, obviously, like
Oh, hmm
because it was, I again like I did not dive deep into SoundCloud until 2020, like the end of 2023 almost. Like I had no idea what hosts were, It
yeah.
sucks. It's like
Nah, I
some
mean,
audios
host.
has been
Yeah.
posting hosts for so long, and I was not tapped into that underground at all. So, just a big catch up right now. I think I've caught up now. I look at my SoundCloud feed every day, so I never miss out.
Yeah, no, I mean, just the concept of a host to someone who isn't really familiar with a host is honestly fucking insane.
Yeah,
So
it's
I can't fault you there, but I mean, yeah, hosts have been around for a pretty long time now. If you go all the way back in the day, you have a guy like Underwater who's been around for fucking
Mhm.
forever. You go even further back, another host called Gold. He has a bunch of like six thousand band Fawny songs, Uno songs, if you fuck with them.
Yeah,
Uh,
I've never. I have to say I didn't listen to them in their prime. I was not a fan. I just didn't know who they were.
Hey
But
man, Fawny, Uno, they still a little bit in their prime right now. They still make good shit.
you
I
mean Uno the
lie.
activist?
Hmm?
Do you mean Uno the
Yeah,
activist?
one of the activists or the act, I think he goes
Yeah,
by
yeah.
now.
I
What
listened
a
to his new stuff is really fire. He's doing the underground stuff now. It's really good.
bro, a producer you gotta tap in with. Do you know Mortality?
I've heard of him. Yeah.
He's so fire, but he's produced a decent amount for him
Mhm.
recently. Like Uno was on the radar and he produced that shit. Moore is just so fucking talented, bro. He's so good. He's so good. But yeah, but him, Fawny, but just hosts in general, obviously like DJ Fat. I mean, the guy posted
Yeah.
TK the race for God's sakes.
Yeah. That's
Um,
no one would have any idea like that was a host.
Not a clue. That song has like almost 100 million streams on his page. It's a host
Yeah.
page. Like, what the fuck is
I
going
think
on,
it's
bro?
crazy too, because if you would look at the trending 100 top of hip hop songs, whatever, back in 2016, a lot of those songs weren't really on the artist pages, but people still really didn't know that, it was probably the artist that gave that SoundCloud page that song if it wasn't a leak.
Yeah, no, 100%. Especially a guy like DJ Fad who has a really, really strong pedigree with so many different artists for fucking forever now. Yeah, but hosting in general is just a really cool thing. And I think it's a cool way for artists that are coming up to maybe get some more buzz from a bigger host page, but also bigger artists that maybe song they don't want to drop, send it to them and just see what it does. And I just think they provide a really good service to artists, producers, whoever it may be in the underground. I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
hosts. I've hosted my fair share. You're a host yourself now. I think it's a really cool thing that we have that's really unique to just the underground scene. Like, there's no like, at least to my knowledge, I've never heard of like an R&B hosting page or a country music
Right.
hosting page. It's not
Right.
really a thing. Someone can tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's a thing. It's just unique to the culture of SoundCloud, which
Right.
I'm obsessed with, and it's a beautiful culture. Absolutely a beautiful culture. So you're tapped in now, as you said. And
Right.
again, I love your honesty, man. Just now you're getting into SoundCloud and really diving deep with everyone going around right now. Who's coming up right now? Who are your favorite artists? Obviously, you mentioned Southside. You were telling me before you're about to go to Philly this weekend for the Southside Skate and Dior show. Three legends coming up right now. Three legends in the
That's
making.
insane.
Who are you listening to? Who are you obsessed with right now that are coming up?
Right now, it's actually crazy, bro. Unitas, the person you just did your last interview with, bro.
Fucking legend, man. He's
He's
going
like
crazy right
honestly,
now.
bro. Like my top. I always say top five because I can't pick like a top one honestly, but he's obviously the one I said first because I've been listening to him nonstop. Parker VS, another one. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him around.
His new music is on a different planet. Like
I gotta listen to Bro more right
I've never
now.
beats. If you go on my SoundCloud, I have a playlist called Current Rotation, and it's just his best songs. Like I don't even have anything else in it. It's just Parker VS. So genuinely, you can just go on there. The top 5 songs are like his best songs. But yeah, man. Unitas, Parker, Nine Vicious for sure is going crazy.
Mhm.
Um, Southside, everyone in 4ET, honestly.
Of course.
Um, everyone in Wave too. Like I love everyone in Wave.
I just interviewed Deli a couple days ago.
Oh,
It's
hell
not
yeah.
out yet though. It's not out yet. I cannot say it is out at the time of this. It will be out soon.
I have like 3 songs of his that I could host. I haven't dropped them yet. But yeah, he's insane.
Super fire. So those are your guys right now, Parker, Unitas, everyone in Wave. Those are your guys right now that you're listening to, like can't stop listening to.
Yeah, I'd say that I genuinely have like nonstop on repeat those guys right now for sure.
I love that, man. I love that. I love how tapped in you are because especially a guy like Unitas is on the precipice of his career right now. It's actually funny, bro. Because in the interview I was telling him this, but bro, I've been I've been listening to Unitas since like 2022, which is
Damn.
fucking crazy.
I only found him from trying MDMA as his I think his first host from him is when I got locked in with him. Like I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, he
Profiling.
shout out trying MDMA too. Phenomenal host page. People tap to fuck in with him. Um yeah, he dropped the song Unitas fucking let's see, I'll give you the date right now. It's called Free Play and it's probably by Zaner. Zaner's one of the
You
greatest
don't even need to
producers.
tell me, bro. You don't even. I literally sent that song to Unitas in the DMs before your interview even dropped, and I was like, bro, please make more songs with Zaner. This is the most insane song I've ever heard.
Dude, that beat, and I was telling you guys, is that beat when so okay, this is you're saying you're a bit of a nerd. I'll nerd out with you right now, bro. I've been a fan of Zaner for fucking forever. So when like the 4ET wave started to like really take off, I will underground term started to take off like 2022. You just heard Zaner everywhere. Hardcore Drugs with Hard Rock was one of the greatest songs I've heard in my life to this day. And I just got like Zaner's production is there. The thing I love about Zaner is there's not too many producers that when you hear their beat, you know who it is anymore. And Zaner is one of those guys where in the moment you hear the beat, you're, oh, this is Zaner. Like obviously this is the Zaner beat. And he has his own unique sound to him that no one can take away from him. So I was on his YouTube and he was just posting mad beats and I would literally listen to these beats as a song, like I was saying before. And the beat of Free Play of the United song, that beat I found on YouTube and I was listening to I was replaying that shit into the ground.
Mm,
And I was on SoundCloud and I don't even know how I ended up. I'm in the weeds clearly over here. And I heard the song and it said Prod Zaner, so I clicked on it. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna give this a chance.
yeah,
And then it was the beat. And I was like,
damn,
oh no fucking way. And then the way you actually approach getting on that song, oh, I was
yeah.
like, this man is a legend to me already. I literally commented. I'm looking at it right now. Bro, wow, I heard this beat on his YouTube and waiting for so long for someone to use it. You fucking killed it.
Hard, bro.
Literally 2 years ago. So it's so cool to see him start to really, really take off right now because he's definitely having a moment right now. And all of his latest shit has been fire. Everyone's tapping in with him. So, and he's a great dude on top of all that. So
Yeah,
shout out
bro.
to Unitas.
Shout out United.
Absolutely. So, gems, man. I feel like we could be here for the next 30 hours talking about history, talking about all this other stuff, man. But I just want to say, I think I speak for a lot of people. And just thank you for what you're doing right now and putting on so many people, making so much content about just anyone that you're just taking a like to. Not enough people, I think, show love. And it's understandable. I get it. A lot of these artists aren't that big yet. They're not really household names by any means, in Unitas' case, and obviously all due respect to him, but majority of people in the world have no idea who he is yet.
Yeah,
Yet. But
right.
the fact that you're here covering these people so early and being so consistent with it and just the volume of the content you're putting out, man. It's much appreciated from everyone in the underground. For real shit, man. Everyone speaks super highly of you, and I've always thought highly of you from afar, but getting to talk to you now, it's really clear you deserve that praise, man. So thank you for what you do.
Damn, bro. Yeah, bro. I don't know, man. I know a lot of people they just don't want to post these guys because there's no reason for people to look at it if they don't. You know, a lot of times like underground. If you look at UGS, you know that underground page, like
Yeah,
a lot of times the unknown people, like those are the ones that get the least engagement on. You know, they always only post the big ones like Osama San, whatever.
oh my God. If
It's
I
just
see
like
another net spend post, I'm gonna fucking walk
yeah, man. Like
after me.
there's no reason to post net spend. You know, he doesn't need that push. You know, so like the reels that I'm doing, I know that Instagram pushes that out to random people. I know that those get organic reach, so that's why I do those. The feed posts, it kind of sucks because Instagram just doesn't put me on the explore page at all. So like my feed posts do shit every time. I feel like,
Yeah,
but so
I do
that's why
for that.
yeah, I do the reels just because, and I only post people that I really like. You know, like you see, like if you go on my hidden hits, I do like a weekly series, and I just post. It's super hard to pick favorites. You know, I have a huge drop list on there, and then I have like 8 of my favorite songs, and those are like my real like favorite songs. Like those are what I
Yeah,
listen
no
to,
bullshit.
like actually what I listen to. So you know, I get people that want to pay to get on the list, and I don't really want to do it. You know, I'm just like
Yeah,
if you drop something, you know, and a lot of times they'll have mutuals too. So it's like, I mean, if you just drop something that I like, there's a highly chance that you'll just be on it. You know, it's not
exactly.
no bullshit. Like there's no favorites. Like it's really just who I like. I've had random people on there that I've never heard before. You know, it's just like that's how it is.
And yeah, but honestly, that's exactly how it should be. You're just pushing what you like and the people that you're admiring, and that's shouldn't be anything different from that. And you mentioned underground sound, and man, we could go through so many different of these promo pages that are now like pretty big that unfortunately just post nonsense 24/7
Yeah,
now.
a lot of them do the memes, which, dude,
Oh,
I could get it, bro. I'm not even gonna start like hating. You know, I don't want to be that guy,
no,
but
no, no, no. But there needs to be a standard set.
right,
It's
there's
getting
a
out of
lot of
hand.
people like they'll post like they'll post memes on the reels, just like straight. You know, it can be culture like hip hop culture, but it's still like it's an underground page and you're posting Drake memes. You know, and it could get 100,000 views, and then you go and post. You know, oh, I got look at my look at my 100 million monthly. Whoever saw it, you know, it's happened for promo. It's like it's not even legit. Like my numbers are nowhere near that because I don't post like random stuff that's just gonna go viral. Which maybe I should to get the followers, but you know, it's just like I try not to. You know,
I'd rather have you stay true. I think long term, here's the thing. Here's the thing where you're starting to cover like let's bring Unitas back into this, right? You're starting to cover Unitas at this stage. Now when he's big time and
hmm
everyone saw you were covering him at that stage, you reap the benefits of that, right?
that's what
Where
some people have been saying too. Like the page will
yeah,
just increase when the artists that I post increase. You know.
yeah. I mean, dude, I've interviewed people with such little followings just because I enjoy their music. I do not give a fuck. Like I'm not me personally, I'm not out here chasing the best interviews out there, anything like that. I just kind whoever's
Dude,
seen in the community I'm fucking with that I see around, I'm like, oh, they're cool. I'll be like, yo, let's run something, you know?
do you know Spartacus? I don't know if you've heard that name yet. Dude, he has I
Mm-mm.
heard a host of his. I was like, holy shit, who is this? I found his Instagram. He had like 6 followers. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, what the fuck? And now I have hosts with him, and it's like one of my biggest hosts. And he has like literally like 15 followers right now. But it's like I don't care. Like this is like actual talent, you know? It's just crazy.
dude, I fucking love that. I fucking love that because I'm exactly the same way. I mean, I was just talking to this one kid through SoundCloud DM, which is even more ridiculous, that I've known for years. He's this Russian artist, and he cannot even really speak English that well. But we've gone back and forth, and he dropped a tape after going away for so long, and it literally is
Mm.
Only me in the comments, and every song has maybe like 4 or 5 likes, but I don't give a fuck. I love this. Like, I love his music. I don't care. And like, if he drops, I will be there. I will be there.
Right.
And yeah, and that's the thing where the other thing, excuse me, where you never know. You never know who's gonna blow up. You never know, even though you feel like you have a good ear, and I feel the same way. And there's some things I've called like, oh, that's gonna happen. Next day, someone who you kind of knew, whatever it may be, is all over here, just got this cosign, just did this,
Mm,
and you're like, what the fuck just happened, you know?
for sure.
Yeah. So I think if you keep that mindset the whole way, you are going to be a true legend in this as just a commentator, a journalist, whatever you want to call yourself.
I
And
hope
yeah,
so.
dude, you're a fucking legend for that. Because again, I think exactly the same way, and that's how it should be. I really do believe that. And also too, when you're able to lock in with an artist like that, covering them whenever it may be at an early stage, just so much cooler. You could really build a really strong relationship like that, where
Fact.
you try to get some, a bigger host, whatever it may be. You're reaching out to him like, yeah, like maybe I'll send you something, or like, yeah, it's like X amount of dollars, whatever it may
Yeah.
be. Like, I don't think that's wrong for people to do and to buy songs or whatever it may be. I just would rather post to people that like I'm just fucking with, they're cool with, and they're like,
No,
yo,
yeah,
let me
for
send you
sure.
some shit. It's just better off that way, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And with producing, like all those placements that I got, except for like, some of the few that you mentioned, like Holiday and stuff. Like I could never really talk to Polo G, it's just it's
Of
the
course.
other connect. But like now with this page, like I'm really building relationships with all these artists, and it's awesome because now, shit, I got their numbers. I can send them beats if I want. It's just like I have that option now too.
Exactly. Not exactly. You said it perfectly. And that's what it's about. And it's so cool, and especially for someone like myself who've been on SoundCloud for forever, to actually know the people, not just from afar, or maybe we had a conversation or two, but there's people I listen to that I genuinely consider some of my closest friends nowadays, and I'm one of their biggest supporters, even before I even knew them like that. And then to slowly build out relationships, like wow, like someone who I listen to all the time is a good friend of mine. I have their number. I can text them right now. We can talk about fucking whatever. Like that's
Yeah,
my
bro,
guy.
it's crazy.
It's one of the best feelings, man. It really is one of the best feelings. And to be able to cover them too with what I do and what you're doing as well just makes it a million times more special.
Dude, I don't know if you saw it. I just dropped the interview today with a Atlanta artist that's pretty tapped in with the people I'm going to the show with, all those people.
I did see that. I did see that. Yes.
It's it's cool too because that was the first interview that I did on the phone. So I
Mm,
kind of was on the phone with him, asked him some questions, and I had to like jot them down real quick and then type them up later. But it was really awesome, and I'm definitely gonna do more interviews like that.
please do. We need more interviews, man. I feel like I'm the only person who does interviews.
Yeah, well, it's definitely different for the Instagram. You know what I mean? Like to have
Definitely.
the slides. I think that's pretty.
I think it's fire. I think it's a cool way to do it.
Mhm.
100% it is. And yeah, I would definitely like to see more of that going forward.
Yeah, because we need long ones like these, but we
Oh yeah,
also
yeah, yeah. I just love the long form content. Like I love
yeah.
podcasts in general.
No,
If
there's a
no offense.
audience for both, bro. There's an
For
audience
sure.
for both.
Oh, without a doubt
Yeah.
there is. And just in general, the more coverage on these guys, the better.
Hmm.
I always will believe that, man. I always will believe that. So yeah, Gems, you're a fucking legend, man. Like I said, this could keep going on for fucking forever. Please though, tell the people where can they fucking find you? Instagram, SoundCloud, anywhere. Anything else you want to plug?
Yeah, I got my Instagram, hidden SoundCloud gems. I wish I could have the hidden gems at, but I can't.
Dude, you're talking to a guy that will never get the expressions with 3X's clean.
Dude, I listened to your podcast, bro. I know your dilemma.
Dude,
I know you don't. I know you can't get it.
and it's never gonna come back because whoever had that page, unfortunately, I use 3X's, and unfortunately, that has a certain connotation to it that is
Yeah.
nothing to do with me. I'll leave it at that. I only did it because 1X is pretty common, so I did
Mhm.
three. There's nothing deeper than that. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm never getting that. But
Uh,
yeah, anything else you want to plug
Yeah.
though?
Hidden SoundCloud gems on Instagram. You can type in hidden gems on SoundCloud and it'll pop up, the best host you've ever heard in your life. I only host the best songs. I'm very picky. Um, so I only post the actual best songs. And Instagram prod wavy. I don't post much on there, but maybe I'll have a beat slide soon because of expressions.
Please do. And I will be there. And I will be there when that happens. I will 100% be there when that happens. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to see the next generation of Prod Wavy. I'm telling you, the comeback's going to be incredible. The comeback is going to be incredible. I can't wait to see it. Wavy though, man, give a closing statement to the people out there. Any last words?
Artists, thank you for making amazing music. Keep going. Producers, don't stop. You'll never know what gets placed. It could be years later. You never know. Keep fucking making music. Consumers of the music, we need you too. And I'm also a consumer. Everyone's a consumer, but
Yes, sir.
people that don't even want to, make music, just listen to it. Keep finding the underground people because they need your support. They really need your boost. They need you to boost their morale. You know what I mean? Sometimes they just need that extra. They need to see that people are fucking with them. So comment. A lot of people, please just drop the egos. Honestly, like the pictures. Comment on people's pages. Tell them you actually like the music. It makes the world of a difference to these guys. And yeah, man, that's all.
Yeah, I just want people to know hitting SoundCloud Gems is one of the realest people I've ever had the pleasure of having on this show. Authenticity, miles and miles and miles above what you could believe. This is a guy who just loves music and wants to continue pushing the people he loves and also makes and has made some incredible music in his time. Gems, man, thank you so much for doing this. Really, you're such a good person. You're a student of the game, and all the good shit that's going to come to you is going to be so well deserved. I can't stress that enough. So once again, thank you so much for coming on the show, bro. Really, this is going to be a
Thank
special
you,
one
bro.
looking back on it.
Thank you, bro. Honestly, it's awesome to be on here.
Of course, my brother. And with all that being said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in as always to the Expressions Podcast. And until next time.